Welcome back to another episode. Today I've got Carlos Mendez on the podcast. He's from the Dominican Republic. And I wanted to get as many local people as I could before I leave for Pittsburgh. So thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And I wanted to share a story that actually changed my whole view on the podcast. So a little background. We were at Gold Crown, which is like a local bar, gold, billiards place. And we were sitting down and I was with my friends. It was actually his birthday and we were with a group of people and we brought up the podcast. And of course he was saying he wanted to be on, but everyone started talking about it. And he looked at me and he said, "Don't forget the impact this has." He looked right at me and I swear to you, I've never thought about the podcast the same since. So I really appreciate that, dude.
Absolutely, man. And I really want to try to get everybody's attention on, the things that we're saying. It was like, oh yeah, whatever, For me, it's like if somebody has love and dedication for something, don't let it go. You can just grab on it and just keep on going. Like the impact that makes in your life is just gonna go ahead and show up on the future and make you go ahead and make things more valuable and just keep on going. Don't give up. That's exactly what it means.
Yeah.
You have to value yourself to a point where it doesn't matter what anybody else said about you. You are focused.
Yes.
And that is very important in life.
It is. And that's what the podcast has taught me that too, because it's like there's been times where I've been slacking with it and I feel different. I feel like I don't have that same level of energy. I don't feel as focused. And, it's just about getting as many people on as you can and hearing as many different perspectives as you can. That's what the importance of it is. And then that's what you told me. And that's when I changed my mindset, because I was like, I get about 50 listeners, I'll get 100 here and there. And I'm thinking, wow, this is nothing. And then when you told me that, it's like, it's already got an impact in itself,
Absolutely, man. And I'm glad that you actually were able to actually grasp on that view and those words. And, whatever I can do to help others, that's what it's like, So.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like you kind of have that? What would you say kind of keeps you going? What keeps your enthusiasm? Do you have something in your life that kind of keeps you focused and enthusiastic?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and then one of the things is when you have a child, you want everything for that child to be good. You want to go ahead and provide, spend time with them. And so unfortunately I can't spend time with her that much because she lives in Florida, but I do take time to go ahead and visit her every month, at least 2 or 3 times. But one of the things that keeps me going and focus is I try to live my life based on this quote: "The ability to resolve a conflict without a fight is what distinguishes the prudent from the ignorant."
Ooh.
So you always have to focus on, depending on the situation, because every situation is different. Do you want to be the prudent, or does your ego takes over to be the ignorant?
Yes, your ego. That is yes, that's so true.
So sometimes if you put yourself, okay, I know what's right, and then I know what's wrong. Do I want to play the good guy or do I want to play the bad guy?
Yes.
Playing each role, what is it going to add in your life?
Yes.
What is the consequences that come forward? What are the pros and cons that are going to happen from that? Well, sometimes you're hot-headed and you're not thinking right, and that's when the problems occurred.
Absolutely.
Then you're not going to have the ability to resolve a conflict without a fight.
Yes.
So that has a lot, if you grasp on it and say it every day, and like, okay, I got to cool down. I can think better, when I'm cool down. So let's go ahead and go get it.
Yes. And that's what they say. So that's interesting you brought that up. I always kind of think of it in two ways. It's like your spirit and your ego. Your ego is you, and you get fired up. You're a man. You want this bravado. You want to be you want to be the guy. And then your spirit operates from like love and understanding. And it's about balancing those two things, because you can't, realistically, we don't live in a perfect world. You're not going to always be in that spirit, and luckily you're not always going to be in that ego. It's about being able to balance it out with whatever you do, because if you do get your ego too much, you'll get pissy. You'll get fucking angry. You could even get violent depending on the situation.
That is correct. That's why I try just to put everything on scale based on situations and based searching for the best outcome.
Yes.
So that's what it's all about. And then I just try to go ahead and roll with it, listen to everybody, because we can learn something out of everyone. Nobody's perfect. We just want to go ahead and always listen.
Yes.
Listening and observed, behaviors, how people, act on a daily basis. That you can learn something from them just by observing somebody, how they behave,
Absolutely.
So, and that's why you want to try to go ahead and do, what did he do this way or whatever, and those things like that is like, some people think, oh, what are you doing it like this? What are you seeing that person in that way? Like, well, I'm not just seeing it in one way.
Yes.
I'm seeing it in every possible way of my consciousness. That way I can see of what I already know, what's new, what's coming.
Yes.
Nobody have to tell me, oh, this is something new that you're going to learn today, like the classroom. You can just see it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then you take your own determination based on your subconscious and your brain. Is it going to be good or not? What are the appliances that I can go ahead and get? How can I apply this to my daily life?
Yes.
What is the impact that's going to go ahead?
It's like extracting the lesson in full.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's a cool way to look at it. And you said you had a daughter. Since I don't have any kids, I'm single, 24. When you had your kid, did you notice that life was going to be different afterwards, like instantly?
Absolutely, instantly. When I was in the hospital and she was being born, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It was something, I don't know. It was something like, okay, day before, okay, this is going to happen sometime soon. I don't know when, but then I'm going to have to behave this way and that way, and then you overthink it. At that moment, you overthink it. But when you see that kid, that child just come out, and being born in this world, you're like, all you think about at that moment is love and protection, security, protecting your blood. That's all you think about.
Yeah.
A lot of emotion comes through right there, but that's what happened in my case.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it was, I couldn't, there's no words to actually explain.
I've heard that a lot.
There are no words to explain that.
That's what I've heard. And, I've also heard when you're a first-time father, that paternal instinct almost kicks in instantly.
It does.
Like you said, there's no way to perfectly describe it. It's like protection. Like you would like fight 6 grizzly bears. Like, yeah. And that's awesome. And I think that loyalty and that protection is important in life, and I've got such a great relationship with my dad. I'm sure he felt that with my 2 brothers. So yeah, it's a cool thing to start a family. So
it is.
Heck yeah. And so when it comes to, we don't have to get too deep into this if you're not comfortable, since you hardly know me, but what was like a turning point in your life, whether it was it doesn't have to be rock bottom, but what's a time in your life where you said, I need to make a change, whether it was a habit or a situation of habits, and what kind of did you do to grow from that?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you need to think, that's totally fine. That's a pretty deep question.
You can thank you, man. depending of your need, and I go like back all the way back with Bob Marley. Every eagles get every needs get an eagle to feed. So,
Yep.
Depending on where you are in life, and depending on your needs, yes, you do have to make adjustments and you have to do changes. For example, in my case, I was working a job where it wasn't paying that much.
Yeah.
But hey, I was thinking about, hey, now you got 2 mouths to feed. So you better go ahead and find something else.
Yeah.
Or hustle, make more money or get another job or something. And that got me into, because I used to working hotels. I used to be the front desk manager, blah, 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 but that doesn't really pay that much money. So I was like, I got a phone call from my best friend. And he told me, "Hey, Carlos, I'm thinking about opening a company." I was like, "Yeah, okay. Well, what kind of company? What kind of work are you trying to do?" "Well, I'm trying to work construction." "Well, okay. Well, that's a vast, large area. What type of construction?" "Well, it's called fiber optic underground."
So yep.
So I was like, "Well, so how do you do it?" So it's like, well, it's hard work, Carlos. Are you sure you're interested? Well, I want to listen more to see what can I get from it.
At least give me some background.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's like, well, you gotta do holes in the ground, shovels and pigs and everything. I'm like, oh man, and here I am wearing a suit in an office and a computer, just typing in, and making my money like that way. So I was like, you know what? I've been doing this for 13 years, and I have not seen a change in this. I feel that I reached my peak in this company. So why not? Let's go ahead and give it a try.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Man, the first 3 months I broke my wrist. I suffer. I suffer because I was not used to that. You know, another type of Hispanic guys. They actually grew up like that. You know, the hard work. So for me, I had it easy when I was back home. But I learned that hard work pays. You know, and then you learn also how to manage your finances a lot more.
Yes,
because you put a lot of effort into that. You know, that made me change how I manage my finances. Yeah. Because I was sweating, man. I was putting a lot of work into it, you know. So I was like, nah, hold on. What do I have to pay here? This. Now let's do it the other way. Let's organize ourselves. You know, a spreadsheet here, there. And it was a change. It was a big change for me, because after that I learned more, and I learned that I like working in the field versus working behind walls. Yeah, you know, I started liking working in the outside. I started getting used to that, and find out that I never wanted to go behind doors working for someone else. Yeah. You know, and I find out that I could be my own boss, even though I have somebody to report to, but my decisions were 100% valued. Yes.
And that makes a big difference, doesn't it? Because, I worked at State Farm for 5 years, and that feeling that you said, like, oh, I don't like working indoors, that's kind of how I got. Or it was like, or it felt like the classic working for the man situation, you know? That's the pinnacle of like 9 to 5 living. So it comes with its pros and cons, obviously, but
absolutely. And at that moment, I didn't know that I was working or living to work, not working to live. Yeah. So it was for me at that moment, it was I didn't understand the difference. This is what you got to do because this is how you're gonna go ahead and survive. Yep. I got out of that mentality.
That's
I got
awesome.
out of that mentality, and then I started being more of my own boss, taking decisions that actually were going to take a bigger impact in my future and also in my family.
Yes.
So both go back to the hand. So it's like, perfect. I love it. I want to go ahead and keep on going this way. This is what helped me, Obviously, I still have a lot to learn.
Yep.
And working my way on, getting everything correctly, or everything how I think is correct.
Yeah, and that's the underrated thing. Hello, Reese. There you go. Short intermission with Reese. Look at that camera. But it's funny you say that, because I think whatever you choose to do with your time, if you don't have that growth aspect with it, I heard you say just now, you said, I'm still learning. That's important. If you you're learning more about what you're doing, you're learning more about how to improve yourself. That's what your life should be around, not a big paycheck where you just feel like you're not contributing anything and it's just you feel dulled out on the inside. Anything where you can learn and grow and you're invested and you're thinking, how can I do this better? How can I do that? That is expansion. That's how your mind's, like, even a neurological sense, that's where your neurons are firing and your brain is actually growing. Like, legitimately on the inside of your brain, more neurons are connecting and firing, and that's how you create a more satisfactory life, really.
That is correct. I'm 100% a believer of that.
Yeah, no, it's neuroscience. It's very interesting. But I think I look back when I was in my old jobs, it just felt like a paycheck. It didn't feel like growth. It didn't feel like I'm actually learning anything new. And that's dangerous, because then you'll feel yourself regressing pretty quickly,
Yes, that's how you get burned out.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what happened to me, and I've done many other things, and it got to the same hole.
Yep.
It got to the same rabbit hole, and I couldn't get out of it. I should have to go ahead and move on to something else.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Move on to something else. But in the grand scheme of things, they say, well, love what you do and you never have to work a day in your life. Well, but at the same time,
that's hard to pull off.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because at the same time, you're trying to know yourself, and find who you are, where you want to go, and what you want to become.
Yes.
Do you want to be remembered alive? Do you want to be just a good dad? Do you want to be a good citizen? Do you want to be somebody who did this and that? Or do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to be an inventor? Do you want to be something interesting?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the biggest crossroads I wanted. I have all these dreams, and I was actually suppressing myself. I really was. It's Kobe Bryant, which is, he has one of the best quotes that resonates really well with me. He says, it's scary to admit that you have a dream, and it's even scarier to pursue it. And what he means by that is that, like, the weight of the possibility of what you're trying to go to is overwhelming, because you're sitting here, you're at A, and you're living in your mind at Z. But every day it takes effort, it takes risk, it takes being someone that you're not now currently. And I love that. And it's so true that it's scary, but it's necessary. If you have something you want to do, you only get to live one time. So why would you not just say fuck it and go for it,
There you go.
Yeah.
You take more risk living in somebody else's dream than going ahead and work for your dreams to live yours.
Absolutely.
So absolutely, I can see that, and yeah, that's a very good way to look at it, though. Yeah. And you're 100%. That's exactly what I'm doing. So my brothers tell me, man, I don't know how you can do it. You snap in a second, and then from one day to another, you told me you're in Georgia, or you're in New York, or you're in Portland, and that's awesome. exactly what I am. I don't feel like I want to be here no more, And then I was like, boom, I'm in a different state. I'm in a different surrounding. You know? And now I meet different people, and this is what I like. The adrenaline rush of just go ahead and go from one place to the other in an instant and just change everything.
Yeah.
That is the true adventurous spirit right there.
Yeah.
And I just love it. You know, I just love it.
That is awesome. And that's kind of why I'm moving too. You know, I've been blessed to travel a good bit with my family, but I just really need a new scenery. I need a change. Like, I love the valley, I love the people, but it's like, you know, as I'm growing as a person, I just need a new environment to meet, just like a clean slate, essentially. You know, it's not running out of fear. It's just running to, like you said, that thrill, that rush of kind of like throwing yourself into a new environment. And it's almost like saying, what are you made of? You know, it's like, let's see what you're made of.
That is correct. That is correct. So every time that we're placing ourselves in an environment that there is no true value for who we are or what we do, it's really hard to go ahead and perform and thrive, you know, versus when you're comfortable or when you're working or because you love what you do, then and everybody else value your opinion.
Yeah.
Then that's from 0 to 100.
Oh
right
my
there,
God.
you know?
Yeah.
That's just invincible. You know, when you are in the wrong environment, people start doing things that and judging you for somebody that you are not, and then you started believing that because they tell you the same thing every day, and then you change that environment and you become a jewel. You
said that so perfectly. That is literally that is exactly you said exactly how I feel, and that's what I try to tell people. You're so right. Like, it's you know, especially, this is my hometown. You're from the Dominican Republic, which is super cool. We'll talk about that. But when you are in your hometown, people have this preconceived notion about you.
Correct.
And there's no, you could move heaven and earth and people aren't gonna change that. You're going to be the same awkward kid in high school, or you're the person who stayed small for 5, 10, 15 years. And then it's like, when you finally hit that growth point, it's almost like you're shedding skin, you know? Yeah.
And that's what I come back and let people know. If I encounter those type of personalities, is this. Perspective and perception are two different things. I'm not trying to hear and change your opinion, but guess what? You are not going to change mine.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, sir. I like that. I've never heard it that way. Yeah, that's interesting. So when you were from the Dominican Republic, or when you lived in the Dominican Republic, when did you move from there to the U.S.? Was that recently?
No, that was about 21 years ago.
Wow, awesome.
Yes, it's been 21 years ago, and then it was great back then. You know, I was going to college and everything, and finishing my studies. And I went there for system engineer, and then I changed my major to marketing.
Yeah, that's both really awesome.
Yeah, and then I now I'm a supervisor for a fiber optic installation company, you know, on the ground, and I love it.
That's awesome.
You know, I don't follow it. I used to be following when I used to for marketing, when I used to work in hotels, but I really found out that I didn't really like that, you know. So
yeah,
unfortunately, it took 20 years for me to find that out. But you know, it's never late.
No,
it's never late,
and that it's never too late to do anything. You know, you look at these people that are in their 70s and they're getting into Pilates, and they're like, man, I wish I did this when I was young and fit. And it's like, well, you're doing it now. No. It's the same thing. Correct. You're just a little older. It's like, who cares? I think I love that idea. You know, because then it keeps life fresh. It's like you can't think in terms of I missed a time frame. You make your own time frame. It's all good.
Correct. Everybody have their own time frame.
Yeah.
That's correct. I believe that. Firm believer.
Absolutely. And what you said, you were doing videos in the past, or maybe it was you just said the podcast, but you help with videos. Did you do like content or like fun stuff? Like what was that we talking about earlier? Off camera.
Yeah, it was more of students that were production.
Yeah.
And they were studying, they were going to school for that. And then they had to go ahead and record, the whole thing and everything. And you got people talking in front of the cameras and stuff. It's like,
yeah.
And you have to read this book, whatever. And they used to call me every time, because I like to talk. I like to socialize.
That's awesome.
I like to go ahead and make sure that everybody feels good.
Yeah.
And we used to do it all the time, and I got to also participate in music studios and see how everything gets recorded and and
that's so cool.
all the balancing and stuff, and that really was always very attractive to me, how technology on that sense of communication worked, and then I that's one thing that I always kept on myself, and I love music, and I was always stay around it. Unfortunately, I don't play any instrument, but I'm very
never
good
too
listener.
late to start.
That's true.
That's true. You could get it the banjo or something. So whatever you want, man. That's awesome. But,
that is true.
And Dominicans got some good music, right?
Oh yes. We got the merengue and bachata. Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Well, I feel like with me, I play a little bass, but I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Don't let that fool you. I can maybe play 2 or 3 things, but my goal, my dream, or one of my dreams, I try not to just blindly talk about my dreams because you got to protect it, but
absolutely.
I do eventually one day want to own my own podcast studio. That'd be cool. Whatever that looks. Right now, the camera's picking up on this rinky dinky, like low budget thing going on, but hey, we're making it work,
Well, let me tell you and that's what I tell you. Don't forget the impact,
Yes.
It's more like when is it gonna happen? Then you put your mind to it, put the work to it, and then just make it happen. Other than will it happen?
Yes.
So just go ahead and just put it out there. It's going to happen.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make it happen. And you know what? I'm going to give it this time and this time to own this piece of equipment and that piece of equipment and that piece of equipment. And slowly you start building up yourself, to a more professional area.
Yeah.
Where, you're going to be able to say, oh, this didn't happen 2 years ago. It wasn't like that 2 years ago. So look where I'm at, just because I want it. This is what I want to do, and this is what I want to go ahead and accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're touching in the idea of manifestation.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
That's the idea of having the courage to keep going, one foot in front of the other. People call it the universe. People call it God. It's a very interesting thing when you look at people who. They do visualizations and they have their dreams in the forefront of their mind. It almost makes it, to me, I don't know if it's as magical as like, okay, it's gonna, like a pixie fairy dust is gonna make it happen. But it's like you said, it's like if I'm doing it every day and I want it, just get it,
Well, exactly. So people think about luck as, something from a fairy tale. Luck is nothing more than the preparation mixed with the opportunities that you can get in life. So if you're not prepared, sometimes the opportunity never comes.
That's true.
But sometimes you are prepared, or the opportunity comes and then you're not ready for it. So luck, as we see on TV, you know, in the movies, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know. Now, what is the first thing that you have to do? Get prepared.
Yes.
You know, you can't control your opportunities.
No, you can't.
You can't control your opportunity, but guess what? They will come. They will come faster and more reliable once you're prepared.
Absolutely.
Because then you have more eyes that are looking at you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, it's about creating your own opportunity. I mean, think about this. Like, if in terms of the podcast, you can meet so many cool people anywhere, anytime. And you can share their story, and someone here, maybe, for example, someone from the Dominican Republic says, oh, you know, Carlos is from there. He relates to me. And it turns into that. It's just about, in terms of like, how can you relate to others and maximizing that opportunity for yourself. And that's for anything in life, meeting people, meeting cool people, you know, that's literally all it is. You know, we were just at our local bar 2 minutes away from me, you know, we were just talking about it, and, you know, we had stuff going on, but it was like, let's make this happen before I leave, you know, and it's just, that's exactly what you were saying.
Yep.
It's like creating your own luck.
You have to. I think life is more fun living it that way, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is. Especially, life is way more fun going after something that you actually want. Yes. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't, you know? And when I was in my job, my God, I was living at like just a terrible state of living. Just like, you know, just rolling out of bed, like not giving a fuck about anything. And then when I really sat down, I said, okay, how can I make money doing something I like? And then I thought about it. Then it's implementing it. Then it's thinking a bigger picture. And all roads led down to, I got to leave the area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like we said. But yeah, but it's all a journey. Everyone's on their own timeline. And I think you shouldn't feel bad, you know, anyone listening, or, you know, whatever, anyone listening, if you feel like, you know, you're behind or something like that, you're really not. I mean, it's your timeline. It's like we said earlier, it's never too late for anything, I don't think.
It's not.
And you know, I think the only thing you could argue is maybe professional sports, because if you're like 60, you're not going to be a rugby player.
Well, yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
They're expecting for, you know,
yeah.
There's a lot of physical that have to be in play.
Yeah, so. Exactly. But I'm saying, in terms of starting a business, learning an instrument, I mean, even getting in sports, you can do a league under that. It's just like, just do, you know, my biggest thing, I look at it this way, and a lot of philosophers talk about this. 200 years from now, no one's going to know who me or you are, even if we were fucking presidents of the United States. They would not give a fuck.
That's true.
They might in a history book, like a dusty old, you know, 200 years. That is, and think about that in the greatest scheme of things. Like, you should be living the way you want to, because it's so minuscule in the grand scheme of everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think people don't think about that. But it's important.
I believe so. I believe that it's very important to go ahead and keep your faith strong.
Yes.
And just, you know, do what you think is right. Of course, always do everything with, you know, consciousness, thinking about having fun. Number one responsibility in human being is to have fun.
I love that. That's awesome. I really
if you actually live your life based on that, you will see how much changes and how much, you know, gratefulness you get from the universe, from everything. I mean, just have fun. Because once you have fun, even though if you're in a negative environment, you will change that around, you know?
Yeah.
You will change that around. I don't know if you've seen the video. These guys, he goes fishing and nobody's catching anything. And he goes out and shaking his boat, and boom, immediately he gets a fish. So everybody started doing the same thing. Everybody started catching fish. You know? So he went in there.
He was having fun.
He was fun. He was having a blast, you know?
That sounds fun.
And he didn't just went there and accomplish what he went to accomplish. He actually accomplished something much bigger than that.
Yeah.
you know, and that's that's the power of positive thinking.
Absolutely. And you know, there's a lot of distraction and bullshit that gets thrown at you to be negative, you know. And if you can rise above that, it's almost like you get rewarded. It feels like a reward, because it's like, despite all the hardship, despite all the craziness, like, everybody has a hard life to their own extent, you know. Some people have harder lives, some people have, but that does not matter. It's about how you can rise above it. That's how you see who you are, you know, and still having fun on top of that. You'll see some of the people, the best people, man, they've gone through some of the worst, like, lives, and they've managed to overcome that. And then that's their reward, being able to live in the moment, live in presence. You know, they talk about that in spiritual presence, being, you know, Buddhists are always, they're just in the present, you know?
Absolutely. You have to find your peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to find your peace. A lot of people think, well, you're happy. No, I'm trying to find my peace. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
That's very important.
Why? Because happiness is relative.
Yeah. And
something that could make you happy, maybe it doesn't make me happy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like finding your own version of it. And you don't, and that's the thing too. I think a lot of times people settle for social circles that don't fit them well because of the fear of being alone, or like the fear of like feeling like an outcast.
Being rejected, yes, correct.
And it's like, well, you know, you can always explore. Like if you could have the courage to take the first step, like, that stuff will come. Like you said, if you stay fun and you feel like you have a negative social circle, change that shit up.
You have to change it out.
Yeah.
You have to change it out.
Absolutely.
Whatever friends you have that doesn't add anything positive to your life, just keep them moving.
Exactly.
Keep them moving, because let me tell you, it gets worse.
Oh, yeah.
It gets worse.
I believe that. Let me see this here. I was having this. This is funny. I could have just done this the whole time. I was like, how am I going to get this? Now I'm thinking about it. I could have done
now
it.
You can actually go back and relax.
Exactly. So there we go. Now I don't look like I'm on the edge. Like, I can't believe I just thought of that now, but that's funny. That's the beauty of, you know, my podcast right now, is that, you know, it has its little kinks and stuff, like it has its little issues or whatever you want to call it, quirks, but it's like, that's what makes the evolution so exciting about it. And another thing is, if you're on my podcast now, anybody who's ever been on my podcast, as the podcast grows, you're always welcome as a guest. So
thank you, bro.
Maybe you'll get a fucking driven up to Pittsburgh someday, and it's like, oh, look how far it's come.
It's not that far away.
Yeah, no,
I can make a trip.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Pittsburgh is so close. That's what I love about it, is that, you know, my dad's getting a little older. I can be close for him, family. Right. So, and it's like a whole new experience. Pittsburgh's like a 4-hour drive. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
No, it's awesome. You been to Pittsburgh?
I have not.
Yeah.
It's one couple of states that I haven't been there, but Pittsburgh is one of them.
Yeah, it's underrated. Yeah, very underrated. So it's a lot of times you think of the Rust Belt. So the Rust Belt is like former industry, steel workers. Okay. But obviously Pittsburgh's known for steel.
Right.
But you have Detroit and all the Cleveland. Like, it's really kind of like old industry that moved out. They call it the Rust Belt. Well, Pittsburgh is on like, God, I'm going to get roasted by someone from Pittsburgh, but it's 2 or 3 rivers. There's Allegheny, Monongahela or something. But it's, first of all, it's beautiful, and they resurged. So once the steel industry left, it's now like a big tech hub, healthcare hub, education. There's all sorts of stuff. So it's one of the cities in the Rust Belt that was able to revitalize really good. And people still think, like, old people think of the old Pittsburgh.
Old Pittsburgh, got it.
Yeah, so some people have the same, like, image of what it used to be, but now I'm telling you, it is a beautiful city.
Nice. Well,
yeah.
You sold me. I have to go ahead and make a trip over there.
That's right,
find out for myself.
I'm living in a place called Lower Lawrenceville. It's a neighborhood in Pittsburgh. It's next level, dude. It's like if you took downtown Harrisonburg, multiplied it in size, and made it more residential, and then maybe like you add a comedy club, you add 16 more bars, it's a cool spot. So it would be really cool to meet people there.
Nice.
So
looking forward.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm very looking forward to it. But I'm excited because I think people are going to say like, oh, you sound Southern, because I've never had that. People say I do. I don't know. Do you hear an accent?
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Not at all.
I don't hear it. My parents don't hear it. But then some people that don't live here say I have the thickest Southern accent.
No, I don't think they know what a Southern accent is.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Accent is.
Exactly. That is what I've been trying to say. My family from the UK said it. And it's like, yeah, well, you're from the UK. You definitely don't know what a Southern accent is. That's great. But they say, so I work with a guy at Martin's over here, and he was from the Dominican Republic. And he said that you're born with a baseball bat in your hand. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Did you play baseball?
Oh, yes. Yes.
That's awesome.
I did play baseball as a kid. I was a catcher, and there was a right fielder and a first baseman. So, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I played first base.
Yeah. We used to play other things, like La Plaquita or, Obitilla, it's called. And then it was imitating baseball, but it had other applications to it, and you play those games when you were a kid and you had a blast, Nowadays, especially after I moved here in the States and I see kids playing, all I see is on their phone or just playing Xbox or on their computer and things like that. There is really little outside activities.
Damn.
And especially from parents that had a blast, that times, and they're going to tell you the biggest lie of all. Times have changed. You can do this, then that no more. Of course not. That is not how it is. You make your own time. You make your own change.
I hate that excuse.
Yes, it is. It is.
So do you make sure that your daughter plays outside when she...
when I'm there? Oh, yes.
Like grab the bat or grab the glove. We're going to throw a baseball.
Let's go. Grab the volleyball. We're going to go ahead and play volleyball. We're going to go ahead and go hiking. We're going to go ahead and go kayaking. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
I made sure that she puts in the work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that is what you are actually going to remember from your parents. Well, I remember when my dad told me to do this, and we used to do this all the time. And that routine from your parents is what sticks to your kids.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's it. I agree. I think, oh, you can't do this, and that anymore. It's like, yeah, you can get a soccer ball from Walmart for whatever. It's like that's a poor excuse. It's just that people are so addicted to the games and stuff like that.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not just the kids, but the actual parents.
Yeah.
Just I'm tired coming from work, but you're tired coming from work every day, so you have to sacrifice and make some, spend some time with your family.
Yes.
So that's very valuable to your kids, and it's gonna go ahead and strengthen that relationship with them. To spend time. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be physical. It doesn't have to be like that. It could be just not talking to each other, just reading a book.
Yeah.
But that's the time. It's the commitment that matters.
Yes. And that's one thing. I'd be scared to be a father because of the commitment, or scared to have a girlfriend at this point, because of that. So maybe I'll meet a girl in Pittsburgh, but for now it's like, the biggest thing is finding someone that supports your dream. That's a hard thing, I think.
There is somebody for everyone out there, brother. So don't ever be scared of trying to find somebody. All you have to do is don't search it. Just let it come.
Yeah.
It'll come.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll come. Believe me, it'll come. Yeah. It'll come in ways that you wouldn't believe how. I'm telling you.
Least expected.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
the
sir.
way. That's what adds.
sir.
It's like the mystery of life. Like where's this coming from? But it just happens. Like you just bump into someone in fucking Aldi. You never know. Yeah,
That's correct.
absolutely. And that's the beauty of moving too. It's like I'm gonna leave myself open for new new opportunities. It's like the luck. It's like I'm gonna keep building myself up, my skill set up, and then let's see what doors open up. It's the same with that.
Yep. I think that you should always, keep the door open because there's also room for improvement.
Yes.
And especially in everyone's life to understand that you will fall. There will be obstacles in your life that are going to make you quit. But that's not how I see it. I love errors. I love obstacles. I love those falls. You know what really matters?
What's that?
It's how fast you get up.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's how fast you get up. Because you're going to fall again.
Yeah.
It's how fast you get up.
I love that.
And if you didn't understand, if you fall in the same hole more than 3 times, keep rising up. Take the opportunity to go ahead and understand where you have to make adjustments.
Yes.
Because those are the ones that are going to build you as a person, that are going to build your character in everything, in life, in your finances, and your love, and your career, everywhere. That's what's going to shape you.
Yes.
That's the mold to shape you. What did you learn from those falls? What did you learn from those mistakes? How fast did you overcome that? And then just thinking always and being grateful.
Yes.
To God, and you will always strive, but don't say it. I'm in this situation right now where I don't like it and I don't know how to get out of it.
Yes. You know what they say? They say, don't pray for easier times. Pray to be a stronger man.
There you go.
So true.
There you go. So I'm in a situation. No, I'm not in no situation. I'm in a predicament. Right now I'm in a predicament. There's no situation. There's no mistake. There's no errors. There's none of that. I'm in a predicament that I haven't been able to figure it out yet, but I'm sure you. Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes.
Give me 5 minutes.
I'll be out there,
Yeah. And it's like just taking everything in stride, as they say, just taking it as it comes. Yeah.
Even when you don't understand the answer or something, don't try to open up yourself for negative thoughts. Even if you don't know the answer or something, even if you have to fake it, that's when I say, don't ever let them see you coming.
Yeah.
If you fall, well, don't let them see you get up.
You don't let them see you get up. Just
you never fell.
Oh, I like that. You got up so quick that you just were in the same spot.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You never fell.
Yeah.
It was just part of the show.
It's all part of it.
It's just part of the show. Keep on going, keep on thriving.
But what you said about that's what shapes you. That's so true, because it's like, let's see what you're made of. It's like a test. It's like this can either tear you down and make you more negative, make you more bitter, or you can say, I'm going to have even a stronger mindset than I did before.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's like it's a blessing. If you can look at anything as a blessing, even the hard times.
Yes, that's correct. I believe that when you find yourself in those situations like that, just try to change something. Don't do the same thing over and over. Just try to change something, even if it's just your mindset. Just give it a twist.
Yeah.
Maybe see things, try to get yourself out of that and try to see the bigger picture, try to think out of the box. And when you do that, remind yourself of what just happened. That way you don't try not to do it again.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's called a pattern interrupt. Like, what are you going to do in your pattern of behavior that's going to interrupt it, you know?
Correct.
Yeah. And you can even do something as like you said, it could be like a shock, like a twist, like something crazy. Like they say that when it becomes to behavior, that your brain even picks up on something as simple as getting up on the other side of the bed.
Yes.
And just, it's going to have to be a little more than that, but it's the same idea. It's like, what small thing can you change? Like, let's say you eat too much. Imagine just like ditch the fries, something like that. It's like, okay, eat one less fry every day, something like that. Obviously that's a bad example, but it's the same idea.
No, I see what you're saying. And
stacking little
changing a routine or your routines that you do every day will create a different impact on your life. Absolutely. Because when you do the same thing every day because you like it and because you don't like change, that's who you are.
Yeah. And there's a funny thing about success. People think success is like, okay, you have everything and then it's like you do something grandiose and you bang it out for a month and you get it. What it really is doing something, stacking little wins like this over years. And then it's like you look back and you're like, wow, I just built a skyscraper. I just built a bridge the size of the Golden Gate. It's like it felt like all this work was for nothing. But then when you look back, you're like, I just did so much.
Absolutely. You did so much because you put in a small effort. Imagine if you would have put a bigger effort where you would have built,
Absolutely.
So, but at the same time, you put this little effort in it, but you never realized where that was going to take you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you didn't feel it. But you have the consistency.
That's the word. That's the magic
you have
word.
The consistency to go ahead and not give up, and keep on driving to see what was that going to get you to,
Yeah.
So that's why it's very important to set your goals. You have your short-term goals and your long-term goals, and then you go ahead and achieve your objective, for those goals. So what do I have to do? What's the main goal? What do I have to do? How am I going to get there? Okay, let's go ahead and start small, or let's go ahead and start big, depending on your opportunities in life. So that's.
Have you ever read a book called Think and Grow Rich?
Think and Grow Rich, I have not.
No, but you're describing exactly what they say. Think and Grow Rich is like, say exactly what you want, say exactly the amount of money you want, and then it's like break it down into palpable goals that you can do. And it's life. People think like there's some secret sauce to everything. It's really not. You ask anybody